Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great week. I am Angelina, your host, and we will continue with the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Okay, so last few episodes we were talking about the part on the presence of Samantabhadra Bodhisattva during the congregation when our Lord Gautama Buddha spoke of the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, and we went into the detailing of the 10 vows by Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. So last week we were at the third vow, okay, and this week we will go into the fourth vow. The fourth vow is 忏悔业障, okay, that means the confession and the repentance from our sins, okay. 忏悔 is a confession, and the word 忏悔 also includes repentance. Okay, you feel remorse, you're remorseful, you confess you're remorseful, and you repent. That means you will not repeat the mistake again. Okay, how do we do that, right? On TV, a lot of us, right, when we watch TV, a lot of us thinks that confession is something unique to Christians. Okay, you have that confession booth in the church. All right, what they do is during these shows, you'll have one priest sitting behind a screen, and then in a separate room, but there is a either a screen or a little window, and then there was this other person who feels so sinful. They go into that another cubicle, another little room, and then they start pouring out the stories of the horrendous things that they have done, and then they expect that after they have said all these things, then the priest at the other side of it will say, your sins are forgiven. Okay, so I won't discount the benefit of confession, okay, but I would like to let you know that your confession needs to be followed up by action. Okay, action, or rather inaction, in the sense that you don't repeat the same mistakes. Okay, when you confess a wrongdoing, for example, if you were to look at we make a very simple analogy these days. Okay, we talk about okay, relationship problems. Okay, husbands and wives, they commit adultery. Okay, and when they are caught, they say things like they're very sorry, and then they say that they will never repeat it again. All right, despite the marriage vow say that they need to be faithful to each other, they're only there for each other until the end of the days, but they made a mistake. Okay, so they went about, and it caused hurt to their spouse, right? So they confess, and then they say they will never do it again. But after they have said that, after a few years, or maybe even some people after a few months, then they think, oh, uh, I am attractive, so I get attracted to this other person, okay, and it is not my spouse, and then they repeat the cycle again. Okay, but this time they just hope that they're not being caught. Okay, so it was a confession, but there was no real remorse. Maybe they did feel bad at that time when they were caught, but they felt bad not because they were really um, sorry for what they've done, but they felt bad because they were caught. All right, so they said they'll never do that again. It's not that they won't repeat the sin again, but they will try to make sure that they don't get caught again. Okay, so that is the kind of things that's happening in this society these days. But anyway, those are fake confessions. Okay, when we're talking about confessions, okay, in the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva way, it means that you confess, you feel remorseful, you confess, and you vow that you will never do it again. Okay, whatever your sin is, you vow you will never do that again. You will never repeat the same mistakes. Okay, given the same circumstances, you will not take the same exact route again. Okay, and constantly you have a reflection upon yourself. If your thought is more inclined to committing the sin, you have an immediate mindfulness to stop yourself. Okay, examine your own thoughts. You say, why, this is exactly almost the same situation as I was in, and last time I made the mistake of following my desires, my selfish desires. Okay, this time I'm not going to do that again. So you choose to let go, just let go. Okay, the moment you choose to just let go, you don't fall into the trap of committing the sin again. Okay, and you no longer create that situation, create that karmic condition for you to experience that same punishment again and again. You will need to break the cycle. Okay, because you have to remember, there are, when you really examine your life, when you look at what's happening around you, oftentimes, okay, you will experience the same circumstances again with a different set of people. It will repeat, it will continue like a cycle, and it will show you again the very same things that you experienced before with just a different set of players. Okay, but it's the same thing, and you either do take the same action again, okay, like what you did previously, and you make the same mistakes, so going down the same route again, okay, at a worse condition, or you break the cycle. Okay, you just become mindful. You think to yourself, no, I'm not going to do that. I was presented the same situation again previously, and I made the wrong choice. Okay, I made a choice to create the result that I do not like. So now I'm not going to take that choice before, because it's stupid to take the same choice because you have experienced it before. So I'll take a different route. I'll just let it go. Okay, whatever it is, I'll just let it go. And then I take on a different route and experience something else. Very often, if you choose the route of just letting go, you will then reach a different kind of situation. Okay, because you broke it. Okay, you broke that chain of events. You have to remember, the law of karma is very true, the law of cause and effect. Whatever you choose, that is the cause, and it will be followed by the effects. It's just like people, they know how to apply when you're talking about business. Okay, when you take this route, okay, you apply this route, so you know that this is the business outcome. But if you were to take another route, then there would be another business outcome. Okay, people can understand that pretty easily. But when they are faced with situations where it is not about the business rules, it's something that is more personal to them, very often we are stuck. Okay, we are stuck because we do not stand at an objective position. We are stuck because we immerse ourselves in it with lots of emotions, and we feel the ego at play. Okay, we feel intimidated, we feel we are being challenged, our authority, we feel like we are being undermined, and everything else. Okay, so when you feel it that way, you will ultimately choose a path that is not objective. Okay, it will be very much to your whims, to your fancies, to your inner desire to win, okay, or to your inner selfish thoughts. Okay, but you have to remember two things. Okay, previously that I have also spoken before. Right, first thing about the Diamond Sutra. Okay, 凡所有相皆是虚妄. So anything that has a form is an illusion, right? But the law of karma is very real. Your illusion, you choose it this way, the outcome is like that. You choose it in another way, the outcome is another way. So that is how it is. Okay, and then when you're talking about the second thing. Okay, the second thing is that when you have a, a form of realization, okay, when you're talking about being able to look at things very objectively, okay, nothing is related to you. Okay, you have to realize that nothing is related to you, and yet you are correlated. Okay, that means there is no I as in one person. There is no Angelina. All right, you all see me, you call me Angelina. I identify as Angelina because my physical appearance is Angelina. Okay, but Angelina does not really exist. Okay, how does Angelina not really exist? Angelina does not um is just an ego. Okay, a form of an ego with a given name. All right, just as you are just a form of ego in a given name, right? If let's say I strip myself of my ego, I correlate with everything, okay, with all the people around me, with all the objects around me. Remember that episode where I was talking about the respect, 礼听诸佛, okay, the first vow of the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. You respect all beings, whether it is alive or non-alive, animate or non-animate. Okay, when you respect, when you gel with everything around you, when you realize that you are one with everything around you, and even like this physical appearance itself, every single cell is a multi-universe by itself. Okay, you realize that you don't see which part is you. There is no you, right? So when there is no you and yet there is everything, okay, you are one with all and all is one with you. You won't have that selfish thought about just making your this self into something great and disregard everything else. You won't, because you will realize that everything is correlated, everything is codependent on each other, right? Past episodes, I've spoken of the energy source that we all are. Our first ignorance asked the first question, and boom, everything came into being, right? So when everything came into being, and then we start to have differentiation, we start to have some discrimination about things, about big and small, okay, large and narrow, okay, wide and narrow, and then you also have all types of taste like sweet and bitter and sour and salty, whatever. All these things come into play, and you are given these five senses, the six senses in your mind for your thoughts, and then you just wrongly grasp the concept that it is separate. Okay, but actually it is all the same. It is all within you. You are one with the entire thing. You just realize that, oh, this is no I in this entire thing, right? So realizing this, you will start to feel that your confession is not just on the things that you have done as a human. All right, your confession goes out to everything else. It goes out to that first part of your ignorance, of my ignorance, okay, of that first question that boomed everything else into existence, right? If it wasn't for this first boom that caused the entire existence of everything else, you won't be here, I won't be here. We won't be living in this delusional world. Okay, we won't need to be doing things that are false. Okay, that does not contribute to anything at all at the end of the day, and then try to make sense of it all. Okay, you and I won't need to be toiling day and night in search of a tool which we label it as money, in exchange of things for us to feed this body, in exchange for things to furnish this place. All right, you won't, all these things won't happen. Okay, so your confession when you're following the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, your confession is to this. Okay? It's not just your mundane. Of course, the mundane ones are important too. You don't kill, you don't steal, you don't lie, you don't commit sexual misconduct, you don't take intoxicants and do stupid things, you don't slander other people, you don't do wicked things. No, you don't do all those things. You don't do things for your own selfish intentions. That is also important because those things conjure your karmic conditions. I know this place is false, this place is an illusion, but amidst the illusion, karma is real. Karma, in the sense that everything has a cause and an effect. The effect itself becomes a cause, and then it will trigger into the next effect. So it is, in one way, it is continuous, but in another way, it is just like a piece of picture. If you were to have that kind of one-pointedness of mind, okay, that kind of meditative concentration, you will realize that every single moment, if you were to pause this video right this moment, okay, not moving, I'm not moving, but you just pause it, right? It is just a picture, okay, of a being. Okay, you probably don't know who I am. Of a being, and then surrounded by all these things. It's just a picture, if you were to pause it. But if you were to play the video, you continue with it, you will realize that the continuous pictures are telling a story. What is it telling? Me talking the Dharma to you. It is also telling the story. If you don't know what I'm talking about, oh, a person, a being, a person is narrating something, is presenting something on video. Okay, that is how we should see it very objectively. And in fact, we should go to the objectiveness that we only see that single piece of still. Okay, because every single moment, none of them are the same. Okay, none of them, there's bound to be a lot of differences. Okay, minute ones. Even if we were to take two pieces of picture, right, and you copy them, you will still find that there are minute differences. If you were to take like a copier machine, all right, you just photocopy one, photocopy two. Okay, two pieces, they look identical, right? No doubt they look identical. But if you were to go into the minute check of these two pieces of photocopied documents or pictures or whatever, go into the minuteness of it, the paper itself is different, even if it's the same type, even if it's the same weight. Okay, the fiber, the way the fiber weaved, okay, your left corner and this piece of paper's left corner, the fiber itself will be different at a microscopic level. Whatever that you printed out, okay, the image that come out, the ink that had embedded onto the two pieces of paper, the picture looked the same, but the ink composition itself will be different. Okay, so you see, every single thing is unique by itself. Not a single thing is repeated in that way. Okay, there are bound to be minute differences, microscopic level. So if it is thus, okay, nothing is real, because you think that copy A and copy B are real, but if you look at them microscopically, they are different. That means they change. Even though if they are the same things, they change. At the microscopic level, they change. You can't have everything exactly the same. Okay, there is no such replicas. So if it changes, that means there is a birth. That means there is a phase of growing old. There is a phase where it will be deceased. there is a phase where it will die, right? Your piece of paper, when you copy it out with that, whatever that you are copying, that was the birth. And then if you leave it there long enough, it starts to fade. Okay, the ink starts to fade. It is experiencing old age. The paper itself experiences old age, and then it experiences photochroming, right? The paper start to turn yellowish. It experiences disease. And one day, after many years, you hold a piece of paper, it becomes hard and it crumbles. It experiences death, right? So every single thing, as long as there is a form, it experiences this, because the form has to have a birth, right? So all this being said is just to show you that everything that has a form is unreal. Okay, it is a temporary phenomenon. Your body, my body, your existence, my existence, right? It is a temporary phenomenon, and every single moment are different. So if we were to be indulged emotionally in it, then we are trapped. Okay, but if you were to look at everything objectively, then you realize that it is just a sequence of different things, okay, that experiences their own birth, their own decay, their own disease, and their own death at their own pace. Okay, so every moment is a new birth, and every new birth itself is a moment of death. Okay, if you were to look at it really, really, very carefully. Okay, so why do we still need to be attached to this? Why do we need to be attached to this? Okay, we don't. We should not be attached to it at all, right? We should wake up. We should come to the realization that all these things are just as is. Okay, this entire sutra itself, the Infinite Lifetime Sutra, is telling you as is, right? So when it is as is, it means that you have to look at it very objectively. And Diamond Sutra, okay, Jingang Sing, was the sutra that is explaining things scientifically, okay, in this kind of understanding, so for you to come into realization that everything that you have gone through is all false, for you to let go, right? There are people with immense wealth. When people have immense wealth, they hold on to their wealth. Okay, when people okay, we talk about possession of things. Okay, when people look at someone beautiful, okay, a man looks at a beautiful woman and his desire grows and he marries her. Okay, and then as this lady grows old, right, this man grows old as time goes by, the every single sheet of it, you will see from the young to the old. Okay, the body experiences it from the young to the old. And if this old is actually seen as something that is ugly, right, the man who is also old may feel that he deserves something more. If he is deluded, if he thinks that he deserves only the beautiful stuff, okay, he does not realize that the entire existence itself, including all these physical manifestations, are all fake. If he doesn't realize that, then he will want to replace the old with something new. Okay, that's how people end up with younger mistresses and stuff like that, younger second wife. Okay, so all these things, actually, they are all fake. Everything around us, we are all just taught. Okay, like the education that you got, you are just taught something. Okay, but it is not something truthful, right? A lot of times you can see that already manifesting. You go to university to learn something, but you come out and you work in something else. Okay, like I was studying movie production when I was in the university, and I ended up in marketing communications. Mostly my desire was actually to my original ambition was to make movies, and I liked copy I like screenwriting. I wanted to be a scriptwriter, but instead I ended up in marketing communications, and I delved into all these events, advertising, branding, everything. And then now I got tired of it, I got bored of it, and I enter as an L&D, learning and development, under a HR department. So when I'm in L&D, I just see, oh, there are so many courses, you know. Of course, I will take my job seriously, okay, because it is something for me while I still have this physical body, for me to earn a living, so that I can just nourish this body, so that I can still share the Dharma with you. I will still keep myself alive, so that one day I'm waiting for Amitabha to come collect me. No, but otherwise I see there's so many things that's happening. Okay, people are there are also people after 20 over years, right? You will see there are people who just mistaking this false entirety as something real. Okay, there is the political um grabs of power. Okay, there is the human desire for more and more. But you have to realize, the more you have, the more burden you're carrying. Okay, some people say that you can have a lot of money and money can bring you happiness. You just go and ask the richest man in the world, is he happy? Right? Are they happy? You just look at what's going on around you. There are so many things. The more wealthy you get, okay, the more freedom that you exchange it with. Okay, when people have a vocation, okay, they are doing business and they earn a lot of money. They are doing, now like globalization. They earn a lot of money and they are building their own empires and things like this. They get money in exchange of their freedom. Okay, you can't imagine somebody just saying that, oh, I want to move to another country. It's not that easy, especially when you are super wealthy. Okay, you're in the top 1% of the entire population that are so damn wealthy. Okay, you can't do that. The moment you want to spend your money on something, all eyes are on you. Because of your immense wealth, they are worried. They want to catch your flaws. They want to catch you for any crime that you want to commit. Even if you're not committing any crimes, they will construct it in such a way that it will look as if it's pointing to a criminal activity, right? Especially if there's any government that wants to withhold somebody, right? So there are also situations where you become so trapped. Okay, that one is trapped by materials. There is also a situation when you're so trapped by karma. Okay, there are those who have committed crimes, those who have committed fraud, scams, whatever. Okay, but they enjoy that immense wealth so much. Okay, it jaded them. Okay, so to a lot of these, they will think that money is the solution of everything. Okay, there is not a single thing that money cannot solve to them, right? There is something that money cannot solve, and that is called karma. Money in this mundane world might buy you out of punishment, okay, like jail, for example, but it cannot buy you anything to escape from your karmic consequences, right? Because that one is impartial, right? That one does not accept bribes. That one you don't even know where to pay it, okay? So it is that severe. But a lot of people, they think that if they escape this mundane world's punishment, they are safe. No, they are not. I would rather that they suffer the punishment over here in this mundane world and then they suffer lesser in the next world, because remember, it is hell. Okay, certain crimes will constitute hell. Okay, certain times, not only hell, but if let's say you're one that will let's say a fraud case. Okay, let's talk about scammers, for example. Other than suffering the consequences within this life, okay, if you were to scam a person, usually scam is about money, right? True, you get that money, but that money you will need to exchange it for bad karma. Okay, what kind of bad karma? It could be disease, it could be lawsuits, it could be things will that supposedly, if you were to go through it, it will help you dissolve the bad karma that you have accumulated. Okay, but if let's say it is you escape it, okay, by giving out more money, you escape it. After this life, okay, you enter into hell, you still need to pay for, the kind of harm that you have done. And it is even worse because it is not counted in terms of dollars and cents. It counts in terms of the harm that you cause to the fallout of a family, for example. Okay, to the situation where, like, maybe let's say the money that you have scammed was actually supposed to be money that people use to treat for disease. Okay, so when you scam this money, you will first need to pay back for the pain in their emotions. Okay, the kind of emotions, like for example, the person that you scam probably wanted to invest the money. Okay, and after your persuasion, your lies, the person invested the money so that the money can grow and to be used to pay off a hospital bill. Okay, to help another person's surgery or another person's treatment, for example. Okay, so that kind of pain. And if let's say that family experiences a breakdown, okay, maybe the siblings became no longer united because of all these things, or maybe the situation where people just cannot trust each other anymore because they will think that why you actually took the money out for investment, and now that now we don't have money to pay for our dad's surgery or our mom's surgery or even our child's surgery. Okay, they are going to die. So that mental anguish, the sadness, it is something that you won't be able to pay no matter how much money you try to compensate. Some people, they seek for emotional damages like maybe 3 million, okay, $5 million, $10 million even, but it cannot compensate for that situation, that very moment when your heart is crushed. So when you go to hell, you will need to be paying for those stuff that you cannot pay off by money. Okay, so that emotional situations, those things that you need to pay in hell, you need to pay them in leaps and bounds. Okay, there are punishments. It can be with fire, with ice, with water, with wind, with whatever. Okay, and after that, for many lifetimes, you will still need to pay for the same karma. Okay, you will then experience being scammed, or you will experience the poverty. You will experience again and again the situations where the exact kind of things that you have caused other people to experience. Okay, so it's repeated until you pay off your karmic debt. So it is foolish for you to think that, oh, as long as I don't get caught within this lifetime, I don't care about another lifetime. Hey, that is also you. Okay, you enjoy your luxurious lifetime now, but you don't want your next you to enjoy anything. You owe it to your next you because you are you, right? And the entirety of your ecosystem, the whole environment itself, it will conjure in such a way that you will need to pay back for all these karmic situations because you planted the seed, you sell the fruits. Okay, you have created this cause. This is the effect of it. If you sit and look at it carefully, you realize that this was entirely the effect of what you have done. No fault of anyone else. Okay? There is no this judge who writes out what your problem is. There is no this judge who will sentence your your who sentence you to your punishment. No such thing, right? Anyone there is just a form to carry out the duty in this event to let you experience these things. Okay, so realizing all these things, okay, be convinced. You will realize that everything is correlated to you, and yet everything is unreal, right? So when you look at this, your confession, okay, back to our fourth vow, 忏悔业障, your confession will help you yourself to get out of this mess that you've created many lifetimes ago. Okay, your confession is to stop the creation of further karma. Your confession is to stop the situations in which you are subject to continuous rebirth, the cycle. You want to stop that kind of cycle. So what is the best ways to stop? The best way to stop is actually enlightenment. Okay, the best way to stop as humans, if we want to go into enlightenment, we'll need to become bodhisattva. And if you were to follow other sects, other religion, your bodhisattva, you will take a long time before you become enlightened, fully enlightened, and no longer subject to birth and death. Even if you don't become that bodhisattva, yeah, actually it's all bodhisattva, you can transcend, okay, from the 6 realms of existence, right, to get out of the cycle of birth and death, and yet you are still in existence, not yet to the ultimate enlightenment. Okay, so what you need to do is that you will need to find the fastest way. Okay, you may take aeons to do that, and along the way there are some bodhisattvas who became tired. Okay, so in the quest, after so many lifetimes, they may become tired, and then they just let go of the process, and then everything else before that was wasted. Okay, like for example, so you may be watching those folklores, like how animals, those Korean dramas, those Chinese dramas, where they cultivate into beings, the animals cultivate into some spiritual beings with superpowers and things like this. And then you see, because it's a drama, right? Then you see these beings falling in love with the human, and then they drop from being supernatural beings into human beings, and then they go through the cycle of birth and death, and then everything else. So if you were to look at that, is it really worth it, right? Do you have that kind of conviction, lifetime after lifetime? Because remember, after you've been reborn, you don't remember, especially if you are reborn in this 6 realms of existence, you won't remember your past life. Okay, so it's easy for you to just fall back into these same situations again and again and again, right? And if you want to have that kind of conviction, it will take so many lifetimes, so many aeons. It can get tiring. You can forget your original mission, right? So this Infinite Lifetime Sutra is giving you the shortcut. Okay, the shortcut is the chant of Amitabha Buddha. Okay, when you chant Amitabha, okay, what is this word Amitabha? Amitofo. Okay, Amitabha itself is actually the sound. If you were to be in phonetics, it is the sound of the universe. Okay, when you're talking about the explanation of Amitabha. It is infinite light, infinite lifetime, infinite of everything. Okay, so it is your entire universe, the entire universes, the infinite, your energy source. You were originally infinite. Otherwise, your one question won't boom everything into existence. So when you chant Amitabha, okay, Amitabha, you just bring yourself back into the infinite, into that energy source which is within you. Okay, that real you, the real Buddha inside you, and that real infinite of everything inside you. That's why people chant Amitabha. Okay, chant Amitabha not because you know it's not just about this Buddha. Okay, it's not just like I worship him. It's not idol worshipping. Okay, it is not. It is going back into being ourselves. Okay, when you reach the Amitabha's Pure Land, one of the things that you realize is that you will look exactly like him. Okay, yeah, this is how he looks like. He'll look exactly like that. I will look exactly like him. And why do I have this? Actually, Amitabha will manifest in the picture that you have in your mind. Okay, it is formless. Okay, but yet it has a form. um Whatever you think, okay, whatever you think in mind, like for example, if you are not following this, you don't have this Amitabha picture, you have another statue, another Amitabha statue, and it has a different look. Okay, but that is your Amitabha. So when you are an Amitabha student, you keep chanting, and you eventually um, extinguish your lifespan. Amitabha comes to collect you. It will manifest according to what your desired look of how Amitabha looks like. Then you will be able to recognize when he comes to collect you. Okay, it will not manifest into your father or your mother or your relative to collect you. No, it will manifest exactly as the Amitabha that you are familiar with. Okay, like for example, I manifest before you in your familiarity as Angelina. Okay, if I were to manifest myself differently in front of you, okay, like for example, if I had to put heavy makeup, okay, I changed my hairstyle, I put on heavy makeup, I went into a cosplay kind of an image. I come in front of you and I say that I'm Angelina. Then you say that no, you are not. You are the cosplay figure, right? So you cannot recognize me as the Angelina that you are familiar with. So to make things simple, Amitabha will manifest according to the Amitabha image that you are most familiar with, that you most desire. Okay, the one that you like the most, right? You When you see people who are selecting Buddha statues, okay, for their home or anything, it has to be something that they look at it and then they feel comfortable with it, they fall in love with it, right? So that is that look that they will be the most familiar with, most comfortable with. And day and night they'll be looking at this figure. Day and night I'm looking at this figure. Okay? And so when it's my time, it will manifest into this and come and collect me. Okay? Just for familiarity. But the moment I go there, everyone looks exactly like him. Okay? Not a single one with a different look. That is very important because all are the same. All are one and one is all. So everyone looks exactly the same. Okay? So your confession, remember, while you confess your mundane, you also need to confess your universal. Okay, get out from this cycle of existence, manifest, make it happen. Okay, confess the wrongful deeds of your first ignorance that created the entirety of this universe, causing a lot of confusion, causing a lot of delusion, causing a lot of people to think that it is real when nothing is not. You lied to the whole world. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you actually can absorb what I said in this particular video, but I hope you do. If you don't, you can re-watch it, rethink about it. Okay, because this understanding will help you in your practice. Okay, the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva's 10 vows is actually to help you practice so that you get out from the delusion. Okay, and okay, so now it's already like 46 minutes. I will not drag on any further, so we will continue next week. Okay, so this week it is Chan Hui Ye Zhang, so next week we'll continue with the 5th vow. Okay, until then, please stay good. Alright, we will see you in the next video. Amitabha.